brands that build India, today a homegrown personal care brand that's almost as old as independent India. In a crowded market with high penetration and quite often little product differentiation. Let's see what keeps Cinthol fresh after 62 years.
When you say Cinthol, the first thing that comes to my mind is freshness.
Lemon fragrance or uske green color, and Godrej company, of course.
Men's category of soaps, there are very few options and they position themselves like that.
It has a lot of products. It even has a powder.
Cinthol
Deodorant and perfume as well.
I think the first one came with the red cover, red flap. It's been there for a long time and most men use it.
Even my father was using the same soap, so I got stuck to it.
With that kind of legacy, it's difficult to give a fresh new look and meaning to the brand. However, Cinthol has attempted that with a brave new brand promise in 2012. Let's take a look at how it's worked for the brand that now exclaims, "Alive is awesome." In the early 1900s, Godrej Group founder Burjor Godrej decided to make a soap with vegetable oils instead of animal fat in an attempt to assert independence. This was the first foray of the company into soap manufacturing, which paved the way for Cinthol on the 15th of August, 1952.
Cinthol has added a lot of luster to the Godrej brand, and I think the connection has been very strong. From the soap business, we started an entire consumer products business. After soaps, we went into detergents, toiletries, etc. So a whole host of categories started with soap. And soap today accounts for roughly 4 to 5% of the group's turnover.
Soaps, which have been available in India for just over a century now, were initially considered a luxury. By the 1940s, though, they were considered a necessity in urban areas for personal hygiene. Today, penetration has increased even in rural areas and is nearly 99% in urban areas. Competition has also increased, and in an attempt to add value and differentiation to their brand proposition, many soaps have carved a position for themselves in the skincare, health and fragrance sub-segments. Cinthol, which was launched as a deodorizing and skin complexion soap, has upped its premium positioning with a range of variants ranging from intense deo to cooling to germ protection to target these sub-segments.
Current health soaps are positioned more as health soaps, but they don't give you the best fragrances. So we said, why can't we create a fusion of the best deodorizing soap and a best health soap? And that's what Cinthol Confidence is all about. It's a soap about germ protection and insta-deo fragrances. That's a differentiation. We will not foray into areas where we feel we do not have a truly strong product differentiation.
In the initial years, understandably, print was the only medium of advertising.
Well, I wouldn't say, I think the Imran Khan campaign had an immediate impact on market share, but I think it had an immediate impact on the oomph quotient of the brand. I think the brand became more visible, the brand became more, displayed some vitality, and I think Cinthol, if I may say so, began to get noticed because we followed that Imran Khan campaign very soon with the Vinod Khanna campaign.
We are now clearly targeting the youth, the outgoing youth who are very ambitious today, want to take more and more experiences. For them, we are developing products which are more relevant to them and hence coming up with these products. In fact, in the latest brand track study, all our parameters of youthfulness, the premium imagery, they have really shot up. Those scores have really shot up. Hence, we really believe that the whole relaunch has really worked. And in fact, it has only strengthened our positioning of invigoration and freshness, which has been there right since 1952.
For what they call the I generation or the technology-savvy, highly individualistic generation, this campaign has been driven to a large extent by social media. So while the TV commercial showed 8 unique bathing experiences, customers were also invited to upload their own special bathing moments on the Cinthol webpage as part of a contest.
We got 300 baths from different people where there was something which is quite funny. One guy created something called a fan bath, where he went outside Amitabh Bachchan's house and started taking a bath singing an Amitabh Bachchan song, and he called it the fan bath. And there was a motorcycle bath, or the motorcycle wash bath, or a car wash bath, where somebody was taking a bath while washing their bike, and there was a banana boat bath. So the brand was not just built using PVC, it was built by making it a part of one conversation, social media, where we got people to actually, we got interactive with the brand, we got people to create their own bath. We sent people on a trip where they could experience what this whole Alive is Awesome, lifestyle is all about.
Along with the change in positioning has been a change in packaging and product design to get all variants into the same family.
The new Cinthol design DNA would be to use really distinct geometric forms as part of product design, which are again in line with uncluttered visual language. And it stands out really well in the market, very easy to identify. And using a typography which is not for the fancy of it, but something which is very clear, very easy to read, and something which goes in line with the overall idea of Cinthol to be bold, alive and clean.
The soap market in India has over 60 strong brands and clearly divided regional preferences. Cinthol's biggest market remains Tamil Nadu, and the original soap remains the bestseller.
TMF இருக்குல்ல அது ஜாஸ்தி அதை நிறைய பார்த்து தான் வாங்குறாங்க மக்களும். முந்தி விளம்பரத்தை பார்த்து வாங்குவாங்க. இப்போ அதில் இருக்கிறது பழைய கஸ்டமர் அப்படியே அதை வாங்குறாங்க. அதில் இருக்கும் ஒரு அந்த சோப்புனுடைய தரம் அது அதிகமாக இருக்கிறதுனால அதை விரும்பி வாங்குறாங்க. நம்ம மற்ற இதை கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது அதில் ஜாஸ்தி இருக்குது.
Cinthol's biggest market is Tamil Nadu. That is one of our largest and one of the oldest markets. In fact, this is a market which today has a soap which got launched in 1952 as the first original soap of Cinthol. That soap, in terms of its quality and TFM, is the best soap in the country right now. In that market, it is a soap which sells completely at the premium end. In fact, there is not much popular portfolio of Cinthol in that market.
The category is so flirtatious that on an average a consumer uses about 6 brands of soap in a year. And on Cinthol, we are really fortunate to have that real loyal customer base, particularly down south, where they do not even change the variant of Cinthol that they use. And this I'm particularly referring to the Cinthol original soap. So we really have that huge loyal base.
The low-margin, high-volume-driven toilet soap category has seen some volatility over the last few years with fluctuating palm oil prices. Godrej is hoping to increase margins with more premium extensions like shower gels. And we're now joined by Santosh Desai of Future Brand. Santosh, it's good to have you back on the show. Let me start by asking you about the soap market, Santosh, because it has a very high penetration, over 90%, but some would say little differentiation. Would you agree with that statement? And do you believe that Cinthol has a clear-cut loyal customer base, or is it dictated by current advertising campaigns, promotions, price-offs, etc.?
Well, for a brand that is has been in the market for as long as Cinthol, I think it would have a small but a committed kind of a group, certainly. But typically in a market like this, because of the fragmentation, you would have a lot of people coming in and out of any brand, and I think that would be true for Cinthol also. I mean, it has legacy, but its position and positioning is not absolutely consistent over the years. So I think chances are that you have a small core group and a larger floating population that comes in and goes out.
Santosh, if you talk to the management about Cinthol, they'll say that the brand has always been a youth brand. But to the layperson, it seemed more like a macho brand than a popular one, and then back to male appeal and now youth. Do you believe that this has actually helped the brand stay relevant, or has it just confused its customers?
Yes, at one level, the brand has changed position, and that is never good news. I mean, it's one thing to do it, change positions in a decisive kind of a way to keep, to stay ahead of the game. But I think in Cinthol's case, it has been flickering kind of a position that this brand has had. At another level, the brand, which is a certain amount of masculine energy, a certain very active kind of a view of the body, and from the body confidence on to today, the Alive is awesome. I mean, it may wear slightly different clothes. You would find that there are elements that are consistent, and the brand at its heart has a certain, I think, a connection and a certain idea and what the brand is about. I don't think has changed as much as the surface positioning would have us believe.
A very clear male appeal, Santosh. Would you say that that's a disadvantage in a personal care segment where there are predominantly female buyers?
It is a disadvantage in the personal care category. In that sense, the playing arena gets limited. Today, male grooming as an idea, the idea of investment in the body, all of it has become, is becoming bigger and bigger. To my mind, actually, this was a bigger disadvantage in an earlier time than it is today. The question is whether the market and society, in a sense, has moved to where Cinthol always was. The problem is that in some ways Cinthol hasn't been there, consistently enough to take full advantage of that phenomenon. So they are taking advantage of it to a certain extent. But given the fact that if you look at deos as a category have become huge, and Cinthol is a brand that has been sitting on a deo proposition for decades. If you were to look at where Cinthol was, where the world has moved, you would have to say that this is a brand that there is a case of lost opportunity here. Because even now it's not too late, but the market has moved to where Cinthol always was. And I think Cinthol could have done better than what it has.
All right, on that note, let's take a look at the latest campaign and get some reactions to it as well.
That's awesome. That song came from military guys and something like that.
That all military guys were taking a bath. Alive is awesome.
बर्फ के उसमें एक पानी बना रहता है, उसमें वो जंप करते हैं, फाउंटेन के नीचे कुछ लोग नहा रहे हैं और वो याद है मुझे.
Okay, Santosh, it's your turn now. What do you think of the latest campaign?
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think I think the articulation of Alive is awesome, is interesting. It has young, it has elements that I think connect well. But when you are in a less clear kind of an area like Cinthol is, I think you need to try harder to make a connection with consumers. And I think good first step, but not far enough.
Okay, let me ask you this one, Santosh. What do you think of Cinthol's choice of brand ambassadors in the past and now?
Well, Cinthol in some ways has been known virtually through its choice of brand ambassadors. In the past, the Vinod Khanna, Imran Khan kind of time, and even going through the Hrithik and for the Deo, the Virat choice. I think that the brand ambassador choices have all been, I think, good. But I don't think we are at a time now where anybody can pull a brand ambassador out of a hat and surprise people.
Now, in such a highly penetrated market, it's clear that a brand will have to look for extensions and variants. Let's take a look at what could be Cinthol's future growth drivers. The Cinthol brand is no longer only about soaps. The brand is trying to position itself as a complete personal care brand and has a range of shower gels, deodorants and talcum powders in addition to soaps.
There is a new format which is evolving within soaps. And that's a progression which is likely to happen over the next, I still call it a sunrise category, but I guess that's something which will evolve over the next 5 years in India. And my feeling is this is a segment which is where face washes were 5 years back, and that is the body wash segment or the shower gel segment. Because there's one clear thing which we're seeing in India is premiumization is on the rise, and there are consumers who are becoming more and more aware that there could be formats which give you higher order skin benefits than pure play soap format. And that's a segment which we see as a future sunrise segment where innovation is happening. And we are present, that's why in that segment already.
The bar soaps is one of the largest contributing segments within the personal care. It accounts for about astonishing 21% of this entire category, and it's valued at about 13,000 odd crores. From a growth perspective, the bar soap segment per se has been growing at only about a 3% CAGR. However, if you look at the other way, the liquid soaps market, though very, very small today, it's growing at a 19% CAGR to that extent.
While chasing the premium market, rural India cannot be ignored. Just like the sachet and small bottle help the shampoo and soft drinks market, Godrej is hoping that the 10 rupee pack will help its soap business and Cinthol in particular garner a strong share of the rural market. Cinthol targeting both ends of the spectrum there. That's all we have for you on this week's episode of The Brands That Build India. We hope you enjoyed watching the show. Do tune in next week, same time, for another fascinating brand biography.